Last time on the Just Create SMP, I finally advanced into the world of steam power by transforming this empty building into this giant power generation system. I was then supposed to sort out the exterior and start exploiting my servermate's need for power, but we ran out of time. So guess what we're doing today?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
And the plan is simple. We're going to create a substation, we're going to route that power into some kind of prepayment system for power access that we've still not worked out how to do yet, and then we're going to sell that access for profit. So step one of all that is to get the power out of this building and into a substation over here that we can then distribute the power from. Oh, hello. What's going on over there? What are you doing?
We're planting sugarcane. Making a big old field.
This is a lot of sugarcane.
And and a castle.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, I was more wondering what was going on with this as opposed to the sugarcane, but
Yeah.
this is a lot of sugarcane. Are you just making a giant manual farm or something?
Yeah, and a field. I like fields.
I mean, that's fair. Fields are nice.
Who doesn't like a good old field, you know?
I do like a good old field. This is awesome.
Yep, it's a work in progress creeper farm.
A creeper farm. Oh, a creeper farm.
Indeed. Well, the creeper farm is actually pretty much done. I have the killing chamber, and I have the actual farm. I just need to route the creepers up there, but that's not really done.
Right. Okay, a creeper farm, you say?
Yes, that's why I'm planting so much sugarcane so I can make rockets.
No.
Without stealing from Joseph.
No, you can't make. No, you can't do
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna make rockets and I'm gonna sell them and I'm gonna make money from everyone on the server.
What? That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna like make an automatic sugarcane farm. I was gonna make like a big mob farm for the gunpowder.
Yeah.
I've
already beat you to the punch here.
I was too slow. I was too busy focusing on making power for everyone to exploit them.
To what?
Well, there goes one of my future plans. I was going to make a rocket shop very soon because I keep running out of rockets myself. But I guess if he's doing it, then it means I can just buy rockets and not have to worry about it. But rocket shops are always such a money maker.
Oh, Beardy!
That was pretty mean, I guess.
What was I doing? Power. Right, yes. I need to get the power out of this building and into a substation that we can then distribute it from. And I think I'm going to start building a substation right around here somewhere. And what I'm thinking is we want to have some kind of like power container type thing. I don't even know how to, I don't know what you call them. Big boxes that have got power running into them and through them and all that sort of jazz. So what I'm thinking is if we do something like this, and I want to make it look cool, so I've brought some stuff that might help with that. So maybe we could just have a few water wheels in the middle, shaft there, and then if we stick a flywheel on top, then our chain conveyor. Let's see, I also bought some of these and some end rods. That could look quite cool. I mean, it's not a bad start. It's like is it a transformer? I really don't know what they're called. You'd think I'd do some research before recording a video, but no. All right, look, Stam.
Oh.
Right, I've been thinking. I lashed out.
Maybe a little bit.
I maybe lashed out. I maybe got a little bit sad.
Yeah.
How about, because this is a manual farm,
Yeah.
how about How about I still make an automatic farm and I import your gunpowder, have a little factory that auto makes the rockets, and then we have like a joint venture rocket shop.
So I don't have to build a sugarcane farm?
No, and I won't charge the factory for the electricity either, because I'm nice like that.
You won't charge your own factory for electricity?
I won't even put it on a meter system.
No.
I'll just let it have electricity because I'm nice like that.
Oh, how kind of you.
Yeah, but what do you reckon? So like, I'll make a sugarcane farm, and then we'll just automate the little rocket factory type thing, which I'm happy to do, or we can work on it together, and then we'll build a little shop in the shopping district that doesn't exist yet, but I'm sure it will very soon when we start building shops.
I'm sure it will.
But when we start putting down shops, it will.
Yeah. I mean,
and then we can have like
offer.
a joint business, and we can just go 50-50.
50-50, huh?
Yep.
All you have to do is build a little spinny thing.
No, I have to build an entire factory that automates the building of the rockets as well.
Okay. And but I spent 8 hours building a creeper farm. It's not even done yet.
All right. Well, I'll build the sugarcane farm really slowly.
Okay. If you build the sugarcane farm and you build the thing that assembles it, and I don't have to pay for power from your company with your factory that you built, 50-50, and we build the shop together.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Sounds
obviously,
like a
if you want the power in the rest of your stuff, obviously, there's still a metering system. I can't, do favoritism.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. But obviously, the rocket factory, if it's something that technically I own, then
Of course,
it's fine. Yeah, of course.
Fine.
Yeah, no fees.
Good. All right. Well, I think maybe shake on that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that seems fair. I'll also give you back the 2 bits of
Take back?
sugarcane that I stole when I
thanks.
destroyed your field earlier.
Yeah, thank you. I stole them from Chosen already, so it's fine.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and I do apologise for destroying your field. I lashed out. It was immature.
Yeah, it's fine, Beardy. It's fine.
It was
Fine,
immature of
happens.
me. Yeah.
Happens.
Anyway, it's dark and scary. I'm going to bed. All right, I feel better about that now. We haven't missed out on rockets. We've just sort of shoehorned our way into Sam's business. This is the way. Right, anyway, Transformers. Let's get this looking nice, shall we? Something like that, maybe. I think once that gets hooked into the chains, that could look quite cool. But to get it over here, I think we're still going to need a power pole. So let's put one in maybe here. Now, what are we going to do for these? Maybe start with a wall and switch to girders. Maybe one of those. Maybe we could use the chutes here, because these do something quite cool. If you attach them sideways, you get a nice little angly bit. Maybe something like that. A chain drive on there. And underneath, maybe something like that. And did I bring levers with me? Did. Stick them on the sides. And maybe on these sides as well. In fact, I think I'm going to fatten out the bottom bit here a little bit as well. And then we'll take the power from this one over to this. And that's spinning, and that's going to start all this moving as well. Very slowly, of course, but that's exactly what we want at this stage. We don't want to be using up all our power. And we should only be using 6 SU now. I think each one of these is only taking 1 SU because we've got it set to speed 1. Or not, we're using 9, but that's fine. Maybe that's the flywheel as well. Either way, it's going to be a nice cheap way for us to transport power around. And because they're barely moving, they actually look quite good as well. They work nicely as power cables. What I want to do, however, is get a number of these little sort of transformer type things. Maybe 3, possibly even 6.
Oh, Mr. Beardstone,
Yo.
word on the street is that you've come into a bit of a deposit of lava.
What gives you that idea, Jojo?
Oh, nothing at all, of course. But I would be willing to buy some off of you. I need 16 buckets.
I'll tell you what, Jojo. Because the last time I saw you, you were literally in a cage, and I've not seen you since.
That's fair.
I will give it to you as a welcome gift. I'll give you some lava.
You're a saint. You're a saint.
Follow me.
Good lord, man.
Well, welcome to the Beardy Power Co. By the way, coming to a subscription service near you very soon.
Ooh.
Let me just rotate that round. Just chuck them over here.
Perfect. Thank you, my good sir.
There we go.
This is a lovely establishment you have here, by the way.
Thanks.
Thank you for this welcoming gift of lava.
That's okay. Anything to help, Jojo. Anything to help. How are you settling in, though?
Pretty good. The fact that I'm getting a workshop, it's coming together.
Nice. Has everyone been treating you well? No one's been trying to take advantage of you?
Oh, no one. That wouldn't happen on this server. I've been
Okay,
treated
cool.
extremely. Yeah.
It's just some people, try and sell things they don't have any right to sell and things like that. I just wanted to make sure that your soul's intact and you're all good. That's all.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I wouldn't fall for like scams like that.
That's
Absolutely.
really good to know. Yeah, because some people,
Yeah.
they just straight away just get scammed by someone for something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make
No,
sure
I'm
that hadn't
not.
happened to you. No.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get to know. Love the power plant. Can't wait to subscribe to it. You said subscription service?
I thought I got away with that. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Are you interested in power? If so, then I'll get you. Look, I know. Okay, this looks really bad. This is a really bad look. I know the thunderstorm just rolled in as I started talking about this, but that was...
You literally said, I'll get you power, and then lightning struck the earth. Like, I feel like I feel like maybe this is... How are we doing this power thing again? What is it?
Yeah, so anyway, nice, happy sunshine times again. We'll just ignore that random overcast thunderstorm, perfectly timed, ominous, overbearing feeling that we had there. But yeah, no, I can route power to your base if you're interested, to your little starter area and so on.
I might be interested in this.
And then you'll have unlimited, cheap and affordable power.
Wow. That sounds like a utopia with absolutely zero catches.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. We've got another customer. This is going well. I didn't even ask how much it was. Well, I think that works quite nicely. Now we've got a bunch of them in there. It could do with being fenced off to make it a bit safe. People shouldn't be able to access those very easily. So I think that's what we'll do next. Just get up a nice fence that goes all the way around. And then we'll start working out how to do a payment meter. And I think it'll be good to have like an example one here that we can show people how it works. So I might actually just install one around here somewhere once we've actually worked out how to do it. First up though, let's sort out this wall over here. Good news, the wall is in and it's looking pretty good. I really like that, actually. I do need to sort out the rest of the landscape around here as well. But first, I want to sort out the payment system. I really need to jump into a creative world and actually work out how we're going to charge people for things. And by things, I mean power, obviously. And speaking of charging people for power, I did actually pop over and see Foxy ever so briefly. Here's how that conversation went.
Yeah, just be careful on this. Literally, if you engage your elytra, that's it, you're dead. 3 or 4 times in the last couple of days, that lad has killed me.
That is terrifying. Wow, you've got a lot of water wheels going on in here.
Yeah, and I don't have enough power, Mr. Beardstone.
Well, you're in luck, sir. Honestly,
Oh, really?
I've been having similar conversations over the last couple of days, and I will be able to solve your power problem imminently.
Ooh.
Probably within the next like 24 hours.
Ooh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Beardstone. Yes. Solving my power, yeah, because I can't really squeeze any more water wheels in, and I don't really want to go sticking in big old windmills and things and digging out even more space to put water wheels. So I was thinking steam, but then that means lava and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if you can solve my problem, that's really
I've got
good.
you covered. Yeah, I can give you unlimited power for a nominal fee.
Wait, a fee?
Well,
But I'm in the community area.
yeah. I mean, it's taken a lot of work, Foxy. It's all right. It'll be very, very reasonable.
Right.
But I will need to install a meter.
A meter?
Yes, I will need to install a power meter. I haven't actually designed the power meter yet, so I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be too big. Maybe like sort of even just a panel on your wall, really, as long as there's nothing behind it, so I can put a little bit of redstone in and stuff.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing behind that wall at all. That would be a good wall to bring power through. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, I'll design something and I'll put it in there and I'll show you how the system works once it's installed, and then all you need to do is just keep it topped up like every now and then.
Oh, okay.
So that's now officially 3 people that are interested in getting power routed to their base. This is going to work out well. Anyway, let's hop into a creative world and see if we can work out some fancy redstone stuff. So, payment barrel, that's the very first thing. And then we're going to want a filter underneath to filter what we're putting through, which for now, we're just going to use diamonds. We're not actually going to use diamonds for the payments when they go through. We'll have some kind of customized token. But for now, we'll do that. Set that to only take 1 at a time. And then we need a system that's going to lock this. So how about maybe hoppers? We use industrial iron for the redstone blocks, I think. So let me think about this. We want to be able to lock this one here. But we also want to lock that one there. So if we put a torch here, that should lock both of those. So if I put something in there, no, it's only locking the top one. So I wonder, can we read a diamond going through there with a smart observer? Is it going to pick it up or is it going to go through too quick? I think they were going through a little bit too quick. A short while later, and I think I've got a basic system that works. I mean, I'm not the best at redstone, but it seems to do the trick. So this torch here is locking the funnel at the top, and we've got another torch locking the funnel underneath the depot here. And you just saw that flash, which tells me it's working. We've then got a timer at the back here, which is currently set to 10 seconds, but it will be set to 60 minutes when we actually install the system. But basically, every 10 seconds, that sends a pulse, which disables this torch, which then drops a diamond onto the depot, so this thing here can see it. And then a second after that, this hopper here gets unlocked, and then the diamond falls through, and then I'll have my collection chest at the bottom. A very simple system that does the trick, but now that means we can see if they're actually paying for their electricity or not. And my thinking is, if, for example, I was to have a pulse extender here that's set to, say, 10 seconds, because that's exactly what this is set to, then when that receives a pulse, that should stay lit up for the entire 10 seconds, which it appears to be doing. So if we grab this signal over here, grab a bit of glass, redstone dust going across the top. We want to make sure that they're not linked up, so let's do that. But that should mean as long as there's diamonds, this line here stays lit. So let's just stick another block there, put that there with a torch. That keeps that torch disabled. And if we put a clutch in there and have our power coming in from below, that means we're always going to have power at the back here as long as there are diamonds going through that every 10 seconds. So let's just chuck a flywheel on top so we can see that it's working. And if I now remove all the diamonds from here in 10 seconds, that should disable the whole system. And there we go. Yep, that seems to have worked. It's blocked the power. Brilliant. And now if we put diamonds back in the system, that's going to kick it off again. Okay, so this is working. However, we also need to consider the fact that sometimes people are going to put stuff in after having their power shut off, and this time is going to be set to 60 minutes. And we don't want them to have to wait 60 minutes before they can actually get their power back. So let's think about this. If ground level is going to be here, I want to try and keep this thing as compact as possible on the surface. If we were to have, say, an observer there, we'll have that, and then we'll send a pulse repeater, because if we put a button on here, the observer's actually going to register it twice, and we don't want to do that. If we set this to a 1 second delay, and in fact put a stone button on here because they don't stay compressed as long, and in theory that should just come on once when we press the button. Okay, perfect. So now what we need to do is feed that pulse into this bit of redstone here. I reckon the easiest way for me to do that is just going to be to use a couple of redstone links. Let's just give them a signal of many flywheels for now. That's fine. Take all the diamonds out of there and make sure that the system stops, which it appears it has. I'm going to set this to 30 seconds now, just to give us a bit more time to play with. So that's that timer and this one here. All right. So now, if we load up with diamonds, the power's not going to come on unless we press that button, and then it should come on just like that. All right, cool. So I think that system is actually going to work a treat. And if we were just to take this power here, for example, stick in a gearbox, bring it over to here. Then, for example, at Foxy's base, he had like just a tough wall, didn't he? So he'd actually just see this. This is what would be exposed to him. Probably have to put some panels on the front here just to cover that up. But that's basically all he'd actually see on his wall, which is pretty good. And then he can take that power and do what he wants with it. We could even be nice and actually put in a vertical gearbox here with a chain conveyor on top as well. And then he's got options. Yeah, I think that'll work quite nicely. But we're also going to need a different version of this because it's quite likely this is actually just going to be out in the open. And I'd quite like to have some extra features. So, for example, do I have stuff in my barrel? If the lights are on, then yes, you do. I think that would be quite handy to know. Because then when there's nothing in there, the light's gone off and you know your power's about to run out if it hasn't already. We were talking about maybe disguising these as shipping containers. Let's see what we can do, because I'm also going to need to put sort of different power outlets on them. A bit like we just demonstrated we could do with Foxy's one that's actually going indoors. But the majority of these I expect are going to be outside. So let's see what we can do. A short while later, and I think we're just about there. So I've stuck a flywheel on top so we can see that the system's actually currently active. We've got a couple of chain drive connections. We've got a shaft connection here, and there's another one at the front here if they want it. There's a stressometer, so that'll tell people what they've actually got available to them. This is where they put their paper. We've even got a little light to show if there's anything in here or not, because if there's not, then the light goes out, which I think is much better than the comparator we had before. This display link does absolutely nothing, but it looks cool. And then round the back here, we've got an entrance, which I can use. I'll need a key to get in. I don't know what we'll set that to, but we'll come up with something. And then from here, we'll have a ladder so we can actually go down and collect all of our payments. And from in here, we can also adjust the timing. So if we decide to start charging people more, for example, we could reduce the time from an hour down to something else. But we wouldn't do that. We're a big friendly energy company. But I'm pleased with that. I think that should do the job nicely. It's quite compact. And what we'll do is we'll just route the power via a substation over here. And we'll do that underground so that this box is just standalone. So now we have a plan. The first thing I want to do is just sort of get down an example one so that when I bring people over here to convince them, they know exactly what it is I need to put in their area. We also now know how big they are, and we know that we need to dig down underground a little bit. So let's just dig a hole, although thankfully most of it's already dug out. Well, that should be enough space. Let's just go grab all the resources we're going to need to build this thing. And I might adjust the design slightly as we go along. I've had another couple of ideas just while I was digging that hole that I want to try out. So let's see what we can get away with. Well, I've got a couple of boxes of stuff, and we've got somewhere to build it. And as I say, I am going to adjust it slightly from what we did in the creative world, just because I think we can make it look a little bit better if we adjust where some of the components actually are, starting with the barrel. Let's put that on the ground right here. And if we sink the whole thing down by a block, it's going to give us a bit more space at the top, meaning I might be able to get some kind of a display board in that says exactly how much power we've got, which I think will be very handy. You've already seen me build this in creative, so I'm just going to crack on and get it done. and I'll bring you back in once it's all looking good, and I'll actually show you the inside properly as well. There we go. We now have our new look version in. So basically what I've done is I've just lowered it by a block, and then that's given me a bit of space at the top to be able to put in a board here. And this will display how much SU this thing is creating overall, and also how much is still available. We've also got a door in the back so we can actually get in. We can set our timers down here so they're set to 60 minutes by default. I can access the filters here as well, which is handy. And if I go down here, I can get into the barrel at the bottom. But what I need to do now is actually get this linked up to our power. And that means I just need to go over here and dig into this bit. So this should be fairly straightforward. So we'll bring the power down and put that into a speed controller because we want the power going into this thing to be a little bit faster. Then I think in this scenario, just going straight through the wall here is going to be our best bet. Let's bring those bits in and a vertical gearbox here. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to turn these down to 10 seconds. That means everything should be off at the moment. Excellent. Now I just need to grab some power tokens and probably a bit of dye for the board. We should see this thing working. So, power tokens. For that, I need paper. And luckily, Stan planted a massive field of it. So this is another good reason to automate sugarcane. If we're going to be making rockets, I'm also going to need them for making beardy power tokens. Or whatever we end up calling them. We'll just call them power credits for now. Make a couple of stacks of those. Then we'll just set the filters in here. Make sure they are correct. Now, if we put this in here and hit the button. Yeah, look at that. We've got power. The system works. And we should see one of these disappear every 10 seconds. Yep, there we go. Oh, this is so cool. I'm very pleased with that. Well, it does always seem to rain whenever I talk about the power. Now, why isn't this spinning? Aha. That was facing the wrong way. Okay, so it's working. It's just not displaying quite correctly yet, but I can easily fix that in the back here. And let's just grab both of these. Set that one to total capacity, and this one to remaining on line 2. There we go. Now we just need to color code those. So green for what's available, and blue for total. Or, do we have that as to what's being used? That might be better. Let's set that to stress in SU. Yeah, that's better. All right, cool. And then the connections on the side here are working, so whenever someone connects to the system, that will start adding their power to this as well. Oh, I'm so pleased with that. Amazing. I think next up, I want to sort out this area a little bit more, make it look nice, just generally finish off the landscaping around here, and I'm going to need to put some kind of small temporary shop where people can actually buy their power tokens from. I think it's time for a time lapse. Well, that was an absolute mission. But this place is looking a whole lot better now, and we've still got space for expansion if we need to actually add any more things. Steam engines, I'm talking about steam engines. We're probably going to need some more of those in future. But this place is looking much more like a power company. We've even got a funky sign out the front here. We've got our building over here where we're going to be selling the power tokens. I've also made a whole bunch of those. Although we do still need to install the shop in here. But I've also added another batch of generators just because I thought it looked quite cool. And I've also got a bunch of shipping containers as if they're waiting to be converted into these little things over here. But let's work out this shop over here. And because we're in Create 6, we've got a fancy new shop system we can use. So I think I've got most of the bits I need. We're going to need item vaults, we need stock tickers and stock links and things. But what we also need are these. White tablecloths. I mean, they don't have to be white. We can try some red ones as well. But these tablecloths are what's going to make the shop work. So let's go see if we can work out a small system over here. It should be fairly straightforward. We've got plenty of space to be working with, so that's not going to be a problem. Now, let's just build a little desk here. What we're going to do is put a vault across the back. And I've got the materials for it, but I forgot to actually craft our packager. So let's just quickly do that. So we're going to stick a packager there with a depot in front. Give this a bit of support so it doesn't look weird. And a brass funnel there. So this will be the delivery point for the tokens. Then I need a stock link on the top there with a stock ticker down here that's linked to it. Then we want an item hatch there so I can restock it. So, for example, if I do that, that will now be full of power tokens. Yep, look at that, loads of them. Then we're going to use tablecloths down the front here. And then on this middle one here, we're actually going to do something a bit different for this. So there should be a way that we can set these up. I don't actually remember how to do it, so let's have a quick ponder. So this is how far we've got. And what I actually need to do is get the shopkeeper in and then actually interact with him with the tablecloth. So that means I'm going to need a seat and I'm going to need a shopkeeper, and I know who's perfect for the job. Hey there, Jimmy. How you doing, buddy? Oh no, why can't I pick you up anymore, Jimmy? What's going on? Yeah, there appears to be something wrong with the carry-on mod here. I can't actually pick him up, but I've got a plan. So come here, Jimmy. Get in this boat. Can I lead the boat? I can. Question is, can I take off without breaking the lead? That's a no. I think we're going to have to do the old stacking trick here. Don't worry, Jimmy, we'll get you where you need to be. And then I'll have a look at why the carry-on mod's suddenly broken. But this is how we're doing it, Jimmy. We're going to pile up, and then we're just going to float our way over there. And because you're in a boat, at least if the lead snaps, you're not going to take any damage. Oh, great, thunderstorm. Again, we have so many thunderstorms on this server. No time to deal with that now, though, Jimmy. Right, let's fly you over there and hope you don't get struck by lightning on the way. Well, we've still got a lead attached to us. It appears to be working. And look at that, Jimmy. Perfect landing. Now, without carry-on, it's going to be a bit harder to get you in position, but I reckon we can do it. Just bring you over here. We're going to block the door so you don't try and run away. Break everything. We'll put a seat down there. Get that boat as close as possible. Now it's time for wrangling. No, Jimmy! No, that is not what you're supposed to get over there. Get into your seat, Jimmy. Jimmy, don't make me angry. First day of work. Now go that way, Jimmy. Little bit of employee abuse there, but at least he's in position. Right, so if we put that there and then we select Jimmy. Can't seem to set a trade with you though, Jimmy. What's your problem? Oh wait, yes I can. Look, there's a little configure button down the bottom here. It isn't working though. Aha! Right, I figured it out. So if we select that and then click configure, then place that down. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now we just need to set the price. That's cool though, I like that. However, I'm just gonna put it on that side there. So let's go set the price. Stick a door in on our way past. Foxy's island got smaller. Those poor chickens and that sheep. Looks like he's been flooded out. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of water sources pouring into his lake now that weren't there at the start of the season. I mean, I've got one on this wall. Chosen's got one. Looks like Throwlash has got a new one over there. Eggs has got one. Dam's got one. Yeah, I guess it's not surprising then, really, is it? Right, so setting a price. I think we're pretty much just going to do it a stack of diamonds until we've got them all reliant on the system. So we should just need that. And then if we set that price, no. There we go, that's the price. Now, obviously, I can look in there and I can sort of just take stuff out, but anyone else coming over here, what they would do is they would come over here and click that, and see that in my hand, it gives me a little shopping list, and it says I'm going to buy 64 power tokens for 1 diamond. If I hand this to the shopkeeper, that should produce that for me, give me a nice little package right here, and look at that. My power tokens. I only got 63 then, but it's because I had 63 in my hand already, so it kind of half stacked them. I thought I got ripped off by my own shop for a second there. Nice one, Jimmy. Good practice, but don't do it on me, do it on the others. Should now be able to collect the diamonds, which go into, yeah, there we go. Look, they go into the stock ticker. So if I just right click that, I get my diamond back. And the good thing is, if for example, I try to buy 3 stacks, but I don't have enough diamonds and I go give this to Jimmy, it literally says I cannot afford this purchase. This is such a cool shop system, and I cannot wait to start using this properly over there. And if you combine that with some kind of automatic restocking system, think how cool that's going to be. Anyway, it's looking a little bit boring in here, Jimmy, so let's see if we can make your place look a little bit nicer. There we go, that's better. We've got a nice little seating area in case there's lots of people trying to buy at the same time. We've made things look a little bit cluttered. I've even used a dragon head that I found in my box. And apart from the fact he's wearing his hat on his chin, I think this is looking pretty good. And we can now sell power tokens. That means we can now sell power. I do, however, need to get this power over to the spawn village area, and I think I kind of want to link them into my windmills over there. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to make myself some towers that I can sort of transfer the power with, like the one we used to have over there. And I reckon we can probably just sort of go across the hills over here. We can always move them in future. For now, we just need to get the power over there. But as we get some shops and a road network in, that's going to kind of dictate the route the power's going to take anyway. So for now, I think just sticking them up on the high points makes sense. But as usual, I don't have the things on me I need to do what I want to do. So let's go raid our storage and get some power poles up. So this first one, I think what I want to do is put it over here. And I forgot to bring girders. Failed at the first hurdle there. Right, so we'll do 2 blocks like that. And then we'll stick a wall on. And then how tall do we want these? Maybe 3 girders, then a block, and 2 girders, and a chute. And we'll stick a chute on the side there, and another one there. Chain conveyor on top. And we'll just cover over the top of this because it looks a little bit better. In fact, let's just cover the top of those ones. Then we just need to fancy it up a little bit. So we're going to use some copper rods here, levers, and then we'll just fatten up this very bottom bit down here. And that is going to work perfectly as a power pole, I reckon. Let's just get it hooked up. So hook this one up to this bit down here. Then we're going to connect another one from here over to maybe this little hillock here, I guess, for now. This will probably do. And then my plan is over here where there's a whole bunch of fair enough. Well, we're going to have to move the cats out of the way because what I want to do is put in a very small substation here, maybe just like 2 of the transformer things that we built over at the power plant, get them in here, and then connect everything up to these windmills here. So that means I've got lots and lots of power, and then we can carry on and build a substation elsewhere around other people's bases where we need them. But you've seen me build enough substations today, so I'm just going to quickly get these hooked up. Mission success, we now have power all hooked up, so these windmills here are actually joined to the power station now, meaning we're actually generating 630,000 SU in total, because of course these windmills are also connected to the 2 windmills in my workshop down the bottom, and I decided just to go with 1 transformer in the end. I think it looks quite neat and tidy like that, and I'll do similar things at other people's bases when we install them. And although I know Chosen wants power and also DeJojo wants power, I don't actually know where they want it to go to, so I don't want to just go and build somewhere random on their land. It might interrupt their plans and things like that. And I don't want to be that guy, so I'll wait till I speak to them before I install their ones. But we do know exactly where Foxy, on his tiny little island over here, we do know exactly where he wants his one. I should probably get it in before his whole island gets flooded. Looks like there's going to be water in Stam's windows before long as well. Right, so let's go down here. Carefully, carefully. This is terrifying. And he said he wanted it in that back wall over there. So if we dig out a hole around here, he said there was nothing back here whatsoever, so we should be good just to dig out a nice big hole. In fact, I'm also going to need to be able to get back here, so I'm probably going to need to cut out somewhere for a door as well. So let's just make this bit a little bit wider. And we're also going to need a bunch of space down below, so let's dig out even more down here. Right, that should be more than enough space. Let's get this thing built. A short while later, after eating a few more of Foxy's apples, I ran out of food, okay? We've now actually got something installed for Foxy. So from here, he can see whether the power's on or not, which it currently is. I've put it on for 60 minutes initially. I gave him 1 token, mainly so I could test things. But that token's going to run out very soon, and when it does, obviously, he's not going to be able to use it until he comes and speaks to me, which is good because I kind of need to show him how it works. But he's got rotational power here, and he's got chain power here as well, which he can then link up to whatever he needs to. And I've got a door here with my little key card, which when I go in, I can see around the back here. It's basically exactly the same as what we had inside the container, except I've just diverted the power out a different way instead of just having it along the side here. I've set up the display boards. I just need to reset up this redstone link here because I broke it. So I just need to get another redstone lamp so that I can make that. And then we're good to go. And in regards to connecting it up to the power, I've literally just routed it underground and connected it to below my workshop. That seemed like the most logical place to do it. I wonder, does Foxy have a redstone lamp at all? No, but he does have the stuff to make one. I'm sure he won't mind. It's for his own benefit. So let's just set that. That means when the barrel has something in it, it will now light up that lamp. Perfect. But now I'm actually just going to turn this down to 10 seconds because we don't need it working properly at the moment. There we go, and that should cut the power. Excellent. And then when we show Foxy how it works, I can just turn that back up. So the last thing we need to do is just put a welcome message over here for our new customer. So let's quickly write something out. Right, we'll just leave that book here for him. It's just a nice little welcome message letting him know he needs to contact me before we can actually get this working for him. But I'm very pleased with that, and I'm pleased we've finally managed to actually get our power routed to someone's base, because now it means we can actually start making some money from it. Over time, we'll get everyone else hooked up as well when I can catch up with them and find out where they actually want the power to be, and I still need to get a couple of others on board as well. But that's going to have to wait for next time, because sadly I'm out of time for this episode, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.